Welcome back to Narrow Ground Entertainment. I'm Steve the Unimpressed. You may have noticed in the clips that I tagged on to the last end of Minecraft episode 10 that I captured some more zombie villagers after I had planned to stop recording. And they are now also in boxes on my front lawn, so it's getting crowded down here. Fortunately, now here in Steve Solo's Minecraft episode 11, it's been quite a while since I was able to record between episodes. The Nether update has actually been released. So, I will be venturing into the Nether in this episode, finally. What I'm going to get out of the Nether, hopefully, is the ability to make potions. I will need to find and kill some blazes to get blaze rods, which will let me make a potion brewing stand, and I also need blaze rods to continue to fuel the potion brewing stand. So I'm going to try and find some of that, and I'm going to try and explore some of the new features in the Nether. I'm not sure how much of that I'll do. This will be the first time that I have explored them at all, because I have not ventured into the Nether in any of my saves since the Nether update was released. I haven't been home or had time. What I have had enough time to do is sit out here and do some fishing. One of the things you can get from fishing are name tags. So I have name tagged all 4 of these zombie villagers. This one's named Ferdinand. This one is Albert. This one on this side is Henry, and the one in the middle is Gordon. Hopefully I will come back and have the equipment I need to cure them into regular villagers, and then I will be able to have my librarians actually on site at my base instead of over there in the village. We'll see how that works out. Hopefully well, but I'd like to get them cured and out of the boxes on my lawn. Also, I'd like them to stop trying to kill me if I get too close. So the plan for today will be to venture into the Nether and gather the things necessary to make the potion brewing stand and the items that I'll need to cure these guys. I'll need a few other things in there besides. I'm also going to try to pick up some nether quartz while I'm there, which is required for making some of the redstone components, and in particular it's required for making observer blocks, and that's what I need to be able to automate my sugarcane farm and some of my other farms, so that they will collect produce for me in the background while I play, instead of me having to go and manually harvest it every time. That will help out tremendously. I am going to cut out for a little bit and gather some more supplies before I venture into the Nether. One of the things I'm going to gather, I already have some of the stuff here. I'm going to be bringing weapons with me. I'm not going to bring my best of my enchanted tools, except for the fortune pickaxe, because nether quartz is one of the items that is affected by the fortune enchantment. So I want to, as long as I have a fortune 3 pickaxe, bring it along and get as much as possible out of each block of nether quartz. I'm bringing along that pickaxe, an unenchanted pickaxe, to break anything else that I might need to break in there. Bringing along hoes, because those are as of this update, they are the tool needed to break the mushroom blocks for the mushrooms in the new nether biomes. Shears, because they're vines of some kind. I have not kept up that much with the news that you need shears to harvest. Shovel is for soul sand, and the axe. The mushroom stems are apparently tree-like, or they're a new wood type technically, but I think that those are harvested with the axe, not the hoe. I guess I won't get the opportunity to find out. Another thing that I like to have with me when I'm exploring the Nether is some kind of overworld block that has relatively high contrast with the Nether that I can make guideposts out of, basically. Nether navigation can be a little bit tricky because maps don't work in the Nether the way they do in the overworld. You just get... Maps are a top-down view, of the world. Don't think I've made any yet in this series, but you look at the ground from the sky, and in the Nether, you're in one giant cave. So when you're looking down from above, all you see is the top of the Nether. You don't get much useful information from that. The way to get around that is to take something with you that you can make posts out of, so that you can see where you came from. You need something that provides a nice contrast with the relatively dark Nether. And what I'm probably going to use for that is birch plank. Or I'm going to take a stack of birch logs with me and break them down into birch planks as I need them. But I don't have a supply of birch logs right now, so I'm going to have to grow a few birch trees and harvest those before I can set off. So I will go and gather some of those and be back with you shortly. I have gathered up my birch logs, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start hollowing out a little bit under my house while I watch the squid die. Ink sacks. Always need a few more of those. The area beneath the house is where I'm going to put my nether portal. I tend to recommend when you're building your nether portal that you put it in some kind of enclosed space. Don't just leave it out in the open in the world. If you leave it out in the open, when monsters spawn at night, they can walk into the portal blocks and teleport into the nether, where at least what I have found will happen is they will stay there and they will be loaded back in the next time you enter the nether yourself. So if you are just hanging out around your house with your exposed portal sitting out in the middle of your lawn with monsters spawning around it, next time you go into the nether, there's going to be a bunch of creepers and skeletons standing around your portal. You're going to get shot and or blown up as soon as you enter the nether. So put them in some kind of enclosure where you can prevent monsters from spawning inside and prevent monsters from going through the portal. Hello. Yeah, like him. You're exactly what we don't want. Alright, crisis averted. Let's get to work. Here we are. There's now a door in the wall of the mountain under the house. Mountain? Hill. There's a door in the hill under the house. And inside is our nether portal. Nice black ring of obsidian, which has not yet been lit. But I think I have everything else I need. Extra food, shears, shovel, hose, arrows, pickaxes, torches and wood, crafting table. I think that's everything, so let's light this thing up and see what the new nether has in store for us. I'm going to leave a few more torches in here just to make sure nothing can spawn in here while I'm away, though. Gassed already. That's why you bring the bow. Ow. Stop being on fire. Thank you. Okay. Now we might be in trouble. I can't tell from here whether these are mostly zombie pigmen or regular piglin. I do not have golden armor at the moment. I did not have enough gold to make any yet. So, regular piglins are going to be hostile to me. However, here is some nether quartz that was one of the things on my list of stuff to get while I'm here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of that. How many was that? 41? That ought to hold me for a while. It's probably enough netherrack to get started. Not netherrack, nether quartz. So I will make do with that for now. I'm going to harvest some of this gold. I'm not sure whether they're angry or scared. Though I think they may be scared of the zombified piglins. So maybe they're running from them instead of attacking me. That would be just fine with me. Get out of here. I don't want to accidentally attack you. Go away. Having a standoff with a zombie piglin. Same to you, buddy. Alright. We got quite a bit of gold from that. The Nether gold deposits are actually a new feature that I had completely forgotten about. I'm going to go ahead and use that to make myself a few gold ingots and make a gold helmet. I think that one piece of gold armor is enough so that the piglin will not get angry at you. Ghasts are another matter entirely, though. Ghasts are always angry at you. Apparently this bow is capable of one-shotting them, though, so that's good. Let's collect the experience from these two ghasts. Did I get a ghast tear out of that? I don't see one. Looks like just gunpowder. Wow. Lava ocean. Guess I will have to content myself with that. I am going to make the first of my marker pillars so that I can get back this direction. Mainly, I try to put these... I try to place these in such a way that I can see them from wherever from wherever the next one is, or see what I'm trying to get to from wherever the next one is. So I'm actually going to put one up here by this little cave where my portal wound up. Generally, I try to put these every 20 blocks or so, or anywhere that I'm going over a hill or something like that, so that whenever I walk up to one when I'm trying to backtrack, I can see where the next one is. So here are some of the mushrooms. This would be a warped forest biome, which is why I saw some of the Endermen running around. I believe, not much mistaken, that you harvest the mushroom blocks with the hoe. The axe doesn't work on those, correct? That just destroys them? It does harvest them, but it goes slower. Okay. Mushroom lights are another good one. That also looks like, yep, faster with the hoe, but you can get them with the axe. Here's some of the new wood. That is not faster with the hoe, correct? Correct. Okay. I'm learning many things. I didn't realize that they were going to have such thick stems. I wonder if that was a generation error, or if that's supposed to be that way. I guess I'll find out as I move further into this. Alright, that's probably enough of the warped wart stems and blocks for me to experiment with and see if I want to do anything with those, so I'm going to continue on through here and keep looking for some of the other stuff. Although, first, let me just shear a couple of these vines. What are these? Twisting vines, okay. Now, if I shear the one at the bottom, do I get all of the rest of them? Yes. Or at least more than one of the rest of them. I'm curious to see whether those will grow in the overworld. But I'm not going to head back just yet. Alright, I am going to clear out a few more of these so that I can see my marker from wherever I decide to place the next one. I think I'm probably going to place right here. Yep. You really don't want to get lost in the Nether. That has not changed. think the next thing I'm going to try to do, since I have an opportunity right here, I'm going to block off that lava flow first, and then I'm going to make my way down this cliff. Right there, I can see some magma blocks, and those are another one of the things that I want to pick up while I'm here. I'm going to try to get everything I need from the Nether in one trip here. I have reached the bottom of the cliff, and now I'm going to collect as many of these as I can, being careful not to drop myself into lava or to burn myself on them. I'll burn myself on them a little bit in the pursuit of getting down closer to them. But these are magma blocks. When you step on them, they hurt you unless you're crouching. Like that. And they do the same thing to mobs, at least the last time I had checked. So what I'm going to try to do with these is I'm going to set up a floor of these around one of the spider spawners that I found down in the mines. And that is going to become a string farm. The spiders are going to spawn, they're going to be killed by the magma blocks, and they are going to drop their string for me to collect. Or for an automatic system of some kind that I set up to collect for me, so that I can just come down and collect string whenever I need it. In the interest of conserving inventory space, I think I'm going to put these last couple back. And I will go home with exactly one stack. That should be plenty. I'm not sure how many of those spawners I can turn into farms that way. I think there's several of them down there, if I recall correctly. But I don't really need to turn all of them into farms, just one will do. So, if only one, or if 64 is only enough to do one, then one will be enough. Now, I think I am going to probably try to restrict some of that lava again, and keep going this way. You can see here I've located one of the other new biomes. This is the Crimson Forest biome. So this is Crimson Netherwort. Crimson Wart? Crimson Netherwort? Crimson something or other. Oop. There appear to be hoglins here. And this piglin is fighting it. Piglin did not win. I'm not sure if the hoglins are automatically aggressive to the player. It looks like they may be. I think they're automatically aggressive to everything. So I'm just going to leave him be for now and see if I can spot any of the other things that I need in here. The Crimson Forest biome was not actually exactly what I was looking for. I would really like to find another fortress so I can grab some blaze rods. I have yet to spot anything that looks like one of those. However, I will go ahead, and as long as I'm here, take the opportunity to gather up some of the new stuff from this biome, which is another type of vine, weeping vines which descend. I think the creeping vines climb up, or grow up, and the weeping vines grow down. Useful for the vertical elevation changes in the Nether, because I think you can climb both of them. Okay, yep, you can climb both of them. So I'd already tried climbing the creeping vines. I'd forgotten that that was one thing they were useful for. And I did try that out, and it worked quite nicely. That Enderman is angry at me. Must have accidentally looked at him. Fortunately, he's not teleporting up here. Oh, maybe he did now. Teleported somewhere. Oh, there he is. Well, maybe we'll deal with him in a minute. For now, I'm going to put up another marker and dig myself down to this hoglin. See how this fight goes. Nope. Enderman's going along for the ride. I'm gonna die, aren't I? Nope, not quite. Definitely want to heal up before I try to take on the hoglin, though. maybe put my iron helmet back on. I'm not sure if there's an armor difference, actually. Is there? In the gold helmet and the iron helmet? No, there isn't. They're both the same. You still can't get up here, huh? Now we can. Ouch. This may have been a bad decision. Where did he go? There he is. Ah, got him. He drops leather and raw pork, I think. Yep, got some raw pork. One of the things they were trying to do with the... How did I get warped nylium? Oh, that was from the Enderman. The warped nylium and crimson nylium blocks, I believe, are the... I believe these are called crimson nylium, but those are like grass in the overworld. The only way you can harvest them is with a silk touch tool. Endermen just pick them up naturally, though. And that Enderman was holding a block, so when I killed him, I got the block. One of the goals with the Nether update was to try and make it so that you actually didn't have to come back to the overworld if you didn't want to. Everything you needed or to survive in Minecraft, you could actually find in the Nether. They added wood, they added stone, they added critters that drop food. I'm going to continue through this biome and see if I can find any of the others or the Nether fortress that I'm looking for, if I can stop looking at Enderman. Ah. Can't get me in here. Well, that went fairly disastrously. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording when it happened, but I did wind up getting killed by some of those hoglins. I managed to get back into the Nether and recover most of my things, the things that were left anyway. I still haven't taken stock of exactly what I did and didn't get back. I got my fortune pickaxe back, so that's good. But at this point, I think I am going to just cut my losses and leave the Nether. The Nether was always dangerous, but I think the Nether update really made it even more so than it already had been. Some of the rules have changed. You have to be worried about things attacking you in places where you didn't used to have to worry about that, as my experiences thus far show. One of the things that it looks like I lost was my quartz, so I'm going to collect some more of that on my way out, because I know there is still quite a bit right next to my Nether portal. But I think that I'm going to suspend the search for a Nether fortress until I am better equipped to undertake that. I'm going to need more armor, a lot more arrows, and quite a few other things before I'm really prepared to venture back into the Nether. So I will have to give it up here. See if I can get back out of here without dying again. I did not have my golden helmet when I was gathering up when I was running back to try and retrieve my things, because I just ran back empty-handed. So one of them was actually trying to kill me at the time, and, well, I actually got my first piglin trade. I traded some gold ingots for 2 fire charges. Because as I was running around gathering up my stuff in the spot where I had died, the piglin found my gold ingots and took it as a trade offer, stopped attacking me, picked up the gold ingots, looked at them for a moment, and threw some fire charges on the ground. And by that time I had grabbed my birch logs back again, so I pillared up into the air so that he couldn't reach me, and put on my gold helmet. And after that, he was fine with me. And here's another hoglin. I'm gonna take you out. Certain Minecraft Let's Players have some difficulty killing the various animals in Minecraft. and some people have expressed the same thing about the hoglins. I don't think I have a problem killing the hoglins. I think from now on, when I see hoglins, they are toast. I'm going to treat them like skeletons. Fortunately, my guideposts are easy to follow back. It seems like the warped forest biome is actually relatively safe compared to the crimson forest biome. So I believe the hoglins spawn in the crimson forest biomes, but do not spawn in warped forest. The only thing that spawns in warped forest appears to be endermen, and, well, with this many of them, sooner or later you are accidentally going to look at one, but they only aggro on you if you look at them. And then only the one that you looked at aggroes on you. It's not like zombie piglins, where if one of them aggroes on you, it spreads. Of course, for zombie piglins, you have to actively attack them for them to get mad at you. Here, right next to our portal, which is on the right, off to the right-hand side of the screen there, is some more nether quartz, so I'm going to go ahead and jump up there and retrieve that. I'm not going to mine my way up there. I'm going to fill her up with something. Let's go with warped stems, because I can harvest those again with my axe. I broke my regular pickaxe in the process of getting my things back, so I only have my fortune pickaxe left at the moment, and I'm okay with using that on some nether quartz, but I don't want to break my way through the netherrack with that. Alright, I replenished my supply of nether quartz, and I'm going to head back into the overworld now. These three numbskulls, well, two now, are here to demonstrate exactly what I was saying earlier in the episode about being careful where you put your nether portals. It does work in reverse. Mobs from the nether can come to the overworld through the portal too. These three endermen have decided to come into the overworld through my nether portal and have brought with them some warped nylium blocks, which they have then left behind. So if your nether portal spawns in the nether in a biome in which hostile mobs could come through it, you probably are going to want to enclose the portal in the nether too. fell off the wall and died. Alright, safe at home at last. I think I'm going to end that episode here because I'm about out of time for recording. It's time to go and make some dinner. Next time I will figure out what to do with some of the things that I brought back from the Nether and start setting up for longer excursions into the Nether. It looks like those zombie villagers are going to be on my lawn for a little bit longer. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to see more content from Narrow Ground Entertainment. If you want to help me achieve the goal of eventually earning my living from creative work, please recommend my channel to your friends. Goodbye and God bless.